10C, receive report on the Community Choice Aggregation Program in San Mateo County.
Great. Topic in front of you tonight is in regards to the Community Choice Energy, or otherwise known as Community Choice Aggregation, CCA. The CCA programs are created to provide customers a choice to purchase electricity through their existing provider or through a CCA that purchases and delivers higher renewable content. This report provides an update on the county's initiative for establishing the CCA program, and no action is being proposed at this time. So what is Community Choice Aggregate, or CCA? Back in 2002, the state of California passed a bill, AB 117. This bill allowed public agencies and joint power authorities to aggregate electricity demands by purchasing electricity on behalf of residents, businesses, and municipal facilities within their jurisdictions, and offering residents a choice to customers to purchase power with higher renewable content. Currently, there are 3 CCAs operating in California: Marine Clean Energy, starting in 2010, Sonoma Clean Power, and Lancaster Choice Energy, which is started earlier this year. Several agencies within the Santa Clara County have formed a partnership to evaluate the feasibility of creating a CCA program. The County of San Mateo is in the process of creating a countywide CCA program as well. On February 24th, earlier this year, San Mateo County Board of Supervisors approved to allocate $300,000 for the completion of the first phase, which included public outreach and technical study to evaluate the feasibility of the CCA program. The county also established a CCA advisory committee for local governments and community stakeholders and public. The first meeting was held at the end of May, and meetings have continued once a month. Both council members, Salazar and myself, have been attending these meetings. And the purpose of the meetings is for the stakeholders to be involved in the decision-making process and to help identify issues of concern about the CCA program. And the draft document of the technical study was completed last month and distributed to all the stakeholders for review. So how does the CCA program work? Currently, cities within the San Mateo County receive their electricity services through PG&E. Through the CCA program, CCAs will be responsible for the electric generation, for procurement, or development of power on behalf of the residents, businesses, and municipal facilities. The CCA and PG&E will partner to deliver electricity to a service area. The electricity is continued to be distributed and delivered over the existing electricity lines to the customers. PG&E will continue to own the grid, distributes power, maintains the power lines, and issues customers monthly bills. There are some benefits of creating a CCA program. One of the main benefits is to give customers a choice between purchasing electricity from PG&E or the CCA. There's a possibility of providing a lower cost than PG&E rates, but it's not guaranteed. The other benefit is to provide a cleaner power by purchasing electricity sources that are more heavily weighted towards renewable energy and carbon-free to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The county and cities have an aggressive climate action goals, and the CCA program can provide a means to meet the goals. The other is community. Since CCA are a nonprofit organization, the thought is to use the surplus funds to invest in the community to develop local energy projects. Although participating in the CCA program has benefits for customers and environment, it's not without risk. Some of these risks fall into the 4 categories, as you see on the slide, and those risks are, the rate risk, opt-out risk, operation risk, and legislative and regulatory risks. As mentioned earlier, although the program wants to provide a lower cost, the cost of the CCA rates could be higher than PG&E if there are more customers opting out of the program, or whether a customer chooses to select a higher renewable energy content. To minimize these risks, the county CCA is proposing to post a bond in the amount of $100,000 so that in the event of the program failure, CCA customers are returned to PG&E service without interruption or financial penalty for the customers or the member jurisdictions. The county established 3 phases for the formation of the CCA. Those are the pre-planning, due diligence, community outreach, the CCA planning and development phase, and then lastly the preparation for launch. The county has completed phase 1, and is currently in Phase 2, which is scheduled to be completed in February of 2016. Phase 3 is tentatively scheduled for completion in August of 2016. Under Phase 2, the CCA program will require formation of a joint powers authority, which is a legal agreement between public agencies. The county has drafted the JPA document and distributed to the city attorneys countywide for review. City agencies that want to participate in the CCA program will be required to pass an ordinance and a resolution and sign the JPA to enable customers to enroll in the program. Once the city decides to join the CCA program, all customers within that jurisdiction are automatically enrolled into the program. Individual customers can choose to not participate or opt out and return to PG&E as their direct electricity provider. The program requires the customers to stay with PG&E for 1 year before transferring back to CCA. Administration fees may be required for opting out after the program launches, which is currently unknown. The city can withdraw from the CCA program anytime. However, customers within the jurisdiction will remain with the program unless they opt out on their own. Currently, the deadline for the JPA membership has been set for February 28, 2016, with the understanding that there will be an additional opportunities to join the JPA at a later time if city agencies prefer to wait. Agencies that want to participate should have the ordinance and resolution passed before February 2016. The county's Board of Supervisors recently conducted a study session for the CCA program on October the 6th. And the first reading of their ordinance is anticipated to be at the end of October, and the second reading is to be in early November. The county also created a website for people who are interested in learning more about the CCA program. The URL is listed on the bottom of this slide. As for the fiscal impact, there is currently none, as this report is presented for City Council and community information. Staff is preparing to come back to Council at a future date for a study session, if needed, readings of an ordinance, and consideration of a JPA agreement. This concludes my presentation. I want to acknowledge Supervisor Pine, who's in attendance tonight for this presentation as well.
Good. Thank you, Jimmy. Any questions for staff at this time? Michael, did you have anything to add?
No, just that Jimmy did a great job of summarizing it. We've spent a lot of time in meetings and getting a lot of information, a lot of really good feedback from our peers in other cities. So that was a great summary and great description of the program.
And Supervisor Pine, would you like to say anything?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, council and staff. I think Mr. Tan did a very nice job summarizing where we are. Just add a couple of comments. This new energy program, Community Choice Energy, is being considered by jurisdictions all over the state. The success in Marin and Sonoma and now Lancaster really motivated jurisdictions to look at this. And we see these investigations going on in San Francisco, Alameda, Santa Clara, Monterey. So I think it's a model that is going to see wide adoption. And I'm very pleased with the progress our county has made. We've been kind of working on this steadily now for getting close to a year. And what attracted it, why I was so attracted is just, number one is just the imperative to reduce our carbon footprint and to do everything we can to use more renewable energy. And there is no question that this is the single biggest thing a city can do to reduce its carbon footprint. You know, cities like San Bruno are putting together climate action plans to try to move the needle to reduce carbon emissions. This is the single best tool to do that. And then some of the other benefits have been mentioned, the idea of choice for residents, local control. You know, we make these decisions, we decide the products, we decide the pricing. And then also the extra benefit of being able to invest in other sustainability programs, be it charging stations or energy upgrades. So it's a very, very exciting program, catching a lot of and attracting a lot of momentum. I really appreciate Councilmember Salazar and Jimmy's attendance at the advisory committee. That's been meeting monthly for about 6 months. So this next phase is really where this next 4 months or so is a critical phase, because we're asking cities whether they want to join in this first, be a kind of basically a founding member. The county, I think, will be approving this shortly. Numerous cities have shown a strong indication or interest. As was mentioned, if for whatever reason this is not the right time for a given city to join, there will be other opportunities, but between now and February, we're going to cities, and now it's up to the cities to kind of think through the process and decide if they want to be in this first group. So in that vein, our staff is ready to provide any documentation of any kind or help with staff reports. I personally am happy to meet with any of you at any time to talk it through. It's a whole new world of energy. It takes a while to kind of get your head around it. There's a lot of lingo, a lot of nuance, a lot of things that aren't totally intuitive. So I will make myself available should you like to call me or have coffee and talk about it. So I appreciate you giving this thought over the next couple of months, and we'll see where it takes us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you. We'll be hearing a lot more from staff in a more formal way here before too long, so thank you very much.